super important for me to write about Black women. I look at it as kind of an obligation and a responsibility and not necessarily even a hobby. It's something that I felt was important because my mom always said to be the change that you want to see in the world. And so I used to complain about not seeing myself or my friends or my family on screen. I decided to write about Black women because I needed to write the things that I wasn't seeing. So for me, it's super important to do it because no one else is going to tell our story better than us. The thing that I kept seeing that was missing was Black joy and fun. And I'll be honest, my mom has seen Girls Trip at this point, so it's no surprise to her that I love getting drunk and having a good time. And that's the type of stuff that I wasn't actually seeing on screen. It was just us being normal, going to parties and going to fun dinners with our friends or karaoke and just showing out and acting a fool. I kept seeing like oppression stories and period pieces and just stuff that was reflecting the pain of our history and not necessarily the fun and the joy of it. And I think those stories are important for sure, but I think we are so much more than just our pain. And so I wanted to kind of just make sure we showed our light and our fun and our beauty and our love too. In 2025, we are going to be in desperate need of laughter and sisterhood. And I think it goes without saying, I know that now more than ever, people are gonna be watching content and hoping for joy and light and love to be reflected, and to be reflected with people that look like us, that have melanin, that have kinky hair. And I said it in New York because New York for me, when I lived in Harlem, was everything. It was just so much Black and brown people and art and fashion and music and jazz and good food. And I'm from the South and I saw a lot of the Southern culture being influenced there too. And so it's just a really vibrant city. And nowhere on screen was Harlem at that point. And I was like, how can this city exist that's so beautiful and so magical to me, and no one has put it on screen yet? There's a lot of things that I would love for Harlem's legacy to be. One, just selfishly for Black writers that are coming up, like I want you to see me and see the show that we're doing and know that there's a career for you. When I came out of film school, the reason I paired up with my friend Issa Rae, we went to college together, was because we were erased during that period. There was no Black person in comedy in a lead role when we finished film school. And so we did that as a response to the lack of representation. So I'm hoping, just on a small scale, that the legacy is inspiring to other content creators. And then on a larger scale, I'm just happy that I got a show on the air with all different types of complexions, body types, hair types. It is so hard to do that. And I'm grateful to Amazon. They allowed me to cast the way I wanted to cast. I know Black women and I know we need certain types of beauty on screen. And so I think there's a legacy for that too, for people looking at it to realize they don't have to be a size 0 or to be biracial or to be, you know, short, stick thin, whatever. You can be whatever and still make it on screen. I have worked for showrunners and been on shows that my voice was silenced on and that I didn't feel safe in, and the set wasn't happy, and you didn't feel the camaraderie and the sisterhood. You felt like you were just trying to survive day to day. And so it was important to me, because it does start at the top. It was important to me that I show up and make it a safe space, and that everybody feels like this is a community, like we're making art, but also like, I want to hear if you're having a bad day. I want you to love what you do. I want you to look forward to coming to set. It feels amazing because I think I've been able to create the set and the work environment that I never had, that I always wanted. And I think for me, the testament of like what I was able to accomplish was kind of brought home when Megan, who was acted since she is like, 3 years old, pulled me aside and said, I've been acting since I was a child, and this is the most supported I've ever felt. And you see a lot of people quit, or a lot of people fall into really hard times, and a lot of it is because there's a lack of support. And so with this set, it was the exact opposite of that. And the people that this was their first job, like Jerry and Shaniqua, this was their first job in series regular roles, I was just grateful that I got to introduce them to a world that loved them and that made them feel beautiful when they walked in and supported them. And I wish the best for both of them moving forward, but I am so grateful that they had this first. It's the best setup you can ever have, I think, for coming into this business.